Hey everyone, it's Allison and welcome back to my channel. So, we are here. I'm filming this on the 18th, hoping I can get it uploaded today. Wanted to do it yesterday, then I got sidetracked, and yeah, but I got home yesterday and I am officially on winter break. So, that means I survived and finished my first semester at university. And, well, I survived. Barely. So in this video, I'm just going to be talking about things that happened, and I will warn you that it's not great, and we might talk about some potentially triggering things here, so there are quite a few things we might talk about, so if you don't want to hear that, you can leave. But yeah, we're just gonna be talking about how my first semester has gone, why it's not great, and just kind of important things that happened. We'll discuss some good things, but yeah, I'm just glad to be back. I'm going to do videos over the break, try and finish everything I want to, and then hope next semester will be better. So, if you guys don't know, I have been in university. I moved in on August 31st, and our last day of classes was December 4th, and I finished my last exam, which was actually my only in-person exam, on the 16th. And then stayed the night, and I went home yesterday. But I have been coming home like every weekend and on the break and still filming when I can, but not as much, obviously. So, how has my first semester gone? If you guys couldn't tell, it hasn't been great. But I think we should just start with the whole kind of main points without going into too much detail that could get me in trouble. So, I guess we should just start with when I moved in. So, on the 30th of August, I made that video telling you guys about how I'm going to university and how it would change the channel a bit and all that. But yeah, so that day we just got everything packed and prepared, and the next day I woke up like I felt so sick. I was so nervous. But we survived. We got there. My mom and dad helped me move everything in, and I got to see my room, which once again is the best room there. They gave me a room. It's really an apartment. I did a tour on it back in September if you want to watch it. But yeah, my building is supposed to be 21 plus because it's supposed to be like the fanciest and best room for students who have been there like for years. But despite being only 19 and first year, they put me in there because of my mental health issues. They were like, this one, what are we gonna do? Just throw her in there. But yeah, my room is very nice, like literally the best. And basically I have a little apartment and I have a roommate, and she is really nice. Honestly, I don't think I could have asked for a better roommate. We have our own bedrooms, but we share like the kitchen and bathroom. But yeah, she is so nice. We don't hang out like outside the room or anything, and we kind of keep to ourselves a lot. Other times we do talk. Like she's really nice. We text sometimes. So I'd say we are friends. And like she's like the only friend I have there, but like we don't really like do much. We just kind of talk when we see each other and all that. But yeah, she is really, really nice, and she's older than me quite a bit. Over 21 if she's in there. So, she was shocked that I managed to get in there at 19, so I'm assuming she's over 21, maybe 22, 23, I don't know. But she is super nice and, really sweet. Like, later when something happened to me, I eventually texted her about it, and she was shocked. She felt bad. She's met my mom a few times when my mom sometimes goes in to help me drop things off or whatnot. So yeah, she is really nice. And my mom actually put together this present for her. I left it the last day of classes before I went home for the study week. And she was so happy. She posted about it. She was shocked. She's so sweet. And she actually ended up giving me a present yesterday, which I did not expect. The gift was from my mom. It was just things that my mom put together, so she wouldn't feel like she had to get me anything. But she did, and it was the sweetest thing. So I made her a homemade card yesterday too. But yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, so this is the gift. She's just so sweet. We don't bother each other. We get along just fine. Yeah, so she got me this cute little spa headband and wrist thing for bath, shower, whatever. And then this adorable little cup with pigs and hearts, and it's so sweet. I love it. And then yeah, there's a little note in there too. So yeah, I honestly got very lucky with her as a roommate. We just don't bother each other. We do our own thing. We talk sometimes. We're just not best friends where we go out and hang out outside of the rooms, but we are friends and we get along, and she's great. So yeah, she's one of the few good things I have at this school is my room, and how the housing residence thing worked out. That was lucky. Anyway, so the first night we got moved in, and then they had this little like welcome to residence event that I went to, and then my parents left, and it was pretty crazy. You're just in this big room with presentations going on, talking about like different programs, different ways they support us, and then they were doing like games where like you would spin wheels to win prizes and everyone would cheer, and like it was cool. And then like once in a while they would be like, get up and go like talk to someone. So I talked to a few people and they were nice. But then we played this trivia game where like there were these groups and they like combined tables. So there was this one table that was basically all guys, so they combined them with our table and like sat across from me, and like they're the ones I talked to the most. Like they were really funny. Like they were fun. So yeah, I got along well with them. And like I never found out like their names or talked to them after, but you know, they were really nice, and you know, that was kind of a fun trivia game. And then I went back to my room, ate for like the first time all day because I was so nervous. And then I just went and like walked around and tried to find where my classes were. And like it wasn't getting lost. Like I kept knowing like where I was going, like I was able to find my way back, but I was trying to find like specific room numbers that were my classes, and I couldn't find them anywhere. Like I thought I was crazy. But yeah, so move-in night, got everything set up. I took my duplicate LPS, which are still there, and I know I said in my video, I'm like, I'm not going to take any other LPS that could get lost or ruined, but like right before I left, the day I moved in, I was just looking at my mascot and I was like, I need her. Like, I need her. Like, I didn't feel complete without her. So now every time I go, I take her, I put her on the shelf in front of the other LPS, and then every time I go home, I bring her back. And so far, I've managed to, like, never forget her or lose her, so that's good. But yeah, I didn't feel complete without my mascot, so she comes with me. So, of course, moving in was quite nerve-wracking, especially, like, I've never really been away from home. I had to, like, change everything I've ever known, like, not being able to upload as much as I like to, so I felt like I'm kind of, like, losing my hobby in a way. I was worried about, like, staying away, because I have certain OCD rituals that I do here that in my screwed up mind keep my family safe, keep the house safe, keep it from burning down, all this stupid stuff, and like not being able to engage in those, well, it's probably good that I can't, it's healthy for exposure, but you know, it's triggering, and like it was stressful. But yeah, so I survived the first night, which was really great. So the next day I woke up and met my best friend, because yes, my best friend was there, and you know, that was exciting because, you know, I haven't seen her too much since graduating, but like over the last month we started hanging out more again. I was like, yay, we're going to university together, that's great. Anyway, so I met up with her and we walked around and found all of our classes, and it really helped. And like with her, I was actually able to find our classes and we didn't get lost, so that was good. We got lots of practice, lots of walking in, it was great. So we did that for a few hours until she was going home, because she had to go and like get some clothes and stuff, and then she was going to stay for the night. So like by the afternoon she was gone, and I was like, okay, there's this little like outdoor festival event, so I'll go. And it was interesting. I didn't really do anything, kind of wish I did. They had like little rides, little like bouncy castle things. Honestly, I wish I did, but I was so nervous, like being alone, I just kind of sat around, which isn't great. And you know, all throughout this, like I was meeting some people like in the elevator, talking with them briefly. Like I recognized like this one guy from school, and like we talked a bit. But yeah, we didn't really do much. And you know, at this little festival they gave out like popcorn, which I was going to get until I got distracted. And then they were like selling posters, and there was like a Sabrina Carpenter one, and I considered buying it, didn't end up doing it, but thought about it. Anyway, at this little festival, I wasn't alone the whole time. And you know, they were playing music, and at one point they started playing Baby Shark, and I started recording it, and everyone was just like, what in the world is this? They quickly, yeah, it was like, Baby Shark, do, 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 do. And like, after the little bit, they skipped it, so I don't know why that was in the playlist, but it was. And like I said, I wasn't alone the whole time at this festival, because I did soon meet a friend who actually met at the trivia thing the night before. But I met a guy who was my friend, who I can't really get into detail about yet. But yeah, let's just say I thought I made a friend, and you know, I was happy. So like we spent the rest of the night hanging out, walking. It was a good time. Yeah, I thought he was nice. But yeah, that was my friend that I met. So the next day was our last day before classes began. So I woke up and I had to go to this little like meeting. There was a little meeting thing for all the art students, so I went to that. And then a little bit after that, actually, my mother came with Leah and Kenda, and I actually asked her to because there were some clothes that I wanted that we forgot to pack, so she dropped those off for me. But she was also coming with them so I could show them my room, so I took them up there. And then we actually went shopping for a little bit. We didn't have much time, it was crazy, but I bought 2 blind boxes that I later unboxed in that room, and they were both doubles, so you know, I keep those there. But yeah, I did that video, which you can see, and I bought like this perfume and hand sanitizer. Anyway, so after that, I got dropped back off, and then there was this ceremony, and I missed a lot of it, but I showed up. We had to like sign a thing. It was interesting. And after the ceremony, I met with that friend for the next few hours, and things kind of got a little intense, and I was kind of losing it because I was already like, too much is changing right now. I can't cope with all this. It's hard to explain. I probably will in more detail one day, but when I say something that happened in a little bit, you might realize kind of what was starting there. Anyway, I was overwhelmed that night, and I was like, classes are starting tomorrow. I don't think I'm gonna make it. But that night I like showered, texted my best friend, you know, tried to cope, and I was like, okay, you got this. You haven't been in a class since June 2024, but you know, you've got this. We're gonna go to classes and it's gonna be fun. So I woke up the next day, got ready for my first day of classes, and I posted a picture on the community tab. I was wearing like that red shirt and other stuff. I was wearing like these bracelets. I was wearing my asexual flag bracelets and my scrunchie, my LPS bracelets, some other little things, my Melanie Martinez necklace. Like I was decked out. Like I like to wear those like every day. It's just kind of my style. It's fun. It's cringe, but it's fun. So around, it was like 11 o'clock, I went to my first university class, and dear God, was it terrible. So my first class was this intro to sociology class. So I'm doing psychology, but sociology often goes along with that, and we just kind of needed an extra course. We decided I'd do like 4. We thought that would be good for a semester. So I go to my first class, and God, this was the worst first impression I could have gotten. So we get in there, and it's big, and I'm like, whoa. So it's like these high seats, and you just sit, and I was like, okay, people have their laptops out. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. Try to get out paper. I was like, okay, let's do this. So then the professor walks in, and I know I can't really judge him because I only knew him for like an hour and 15 minutes, but I thought he was an asshole. And if you guys know anything about me, you know, like, I am besties with teachers. I become besties with them. They were basically the people that always made school good for me. Like, I become friends with them on Facebook. We get close. We talk in class. I'd have them for years. Like, my teachers were always my best friends. I've only ever had one that I didn't get along with. So, me getting bad vibes from a teacher, I think it's a sign that it's not good. Not liking a teacher for me is not a good sign. So, this guy, he scared me. He was scary. He immediately starts yelling at us about projects and stuff that weren't due for months. And I'm like, it's the first day, holy. Like, he had me scared, and he's talking about, like, how you need to participate, and if you don't, then you have 15 minutes after class to write something on, like, Brightspace. Oh, yeah, Brightspace. I absolutely despise Brightspace. I'm so used to, like, Google Classroom, but, like, Brightspace sucks. Ugh. Anyway, he's like, you have 15 minutes after the class if you didn't participate to write something and get marks. You don't just get to go home all night and hang out with your friends or your roommates. No. And I'm like, 15 minutes? That is not a lot of time. Especially if you have like another class to get to, you need to get somewhere, get home, like, come on. But no, he was scary. I was immediately like, nope, not staying in this class. And actually, throughout it, the girl next to me and the guy in front of me just walked out. I wanted to do the same, but I was like, no, I'm not that mean. I will stick it out to the end of this class. But this guy's just mean and yelling and didn't speak English too well, which, you know, isn't great if you're teaching students who speak English. But the main thing that had me confused is he starts talking about, oh, by the way, he like gave a disclaimer, guys, I'll never learn your names. This class is too huge, so I won't bother. Wow, what a good guy. No, but at one point, he starts talking to us about how he's already assigned us groups for projects that weren't due until October and November. I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, how can you be assigning groups now? I'm just thinking, how can you be assigning groups for projects that aren't due for months when for the next 2 weeks, people are going to be joining and dropping this class. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I could not stand him. Like I was terrified. I literally, in the middle of that class, I pulled up my laptop and started looking up alternate courses I could take at that time, because I knew I couldn't stay. I was immediately like, nope. And then when he finally let us go, I was like, I can't do this. I hate this. But I was like, I need to wait and see if it's just that class or university in general. But like, he had me scared. And I was immediately overwhelmed. I'm like, this is not like how it used to be. It's too crazy. I'll never fit in. Like, I was just pissed. So I walked across the street to the playground, swung there for a little bit, and then I went to the library for a bit before I was like, this is too much. I'm just gonna go back to my room. Because my next class wasn't until 5:30. I know that's very late for a class, but yeah. But all I knew was I'm dropping that other class. I'm also gonna start talking about like how my classes went all along, like how everything just kind of turned out. So first day at 5:30, I go to my astronomy class, and the professor is this guy, and yeah. So this astronomy class, it was fun, but also the worst. It's hard to explain. So we were told by people, like some people we talked to before school, like people, staff there, that this astronomy class is like one of the most easy classes, and like it counts as a science, which you need. And yeah, we heard it was supposed to be like really easy, really fun. So I was like, okay. Like, I heard it was the easiest class at this whole school, so I'm thinking, okay, this will be easy. So I nearly failed it. I know that sounds crazy, but I did. So the professor was really nice, really fun. Like, he was entertaining at times, but at the same time, everything he said, one ear, out the other. Like, nothing he said stuck. Like, I never had any idea what was going on. He'd just go off talking about crazy stuff, and I never knew what was going on. And he'd post notes like online, and I'd like try and memorize them. I tried so hard in that class to memorize, to recite them, but nothing was sticking in my head. And it wasn't really about, it was called like the sky and planets. I don't feel like it really was about that. It was just about a bunch of crazy stuff. But like, I tried so hard in that class. There were only there were 3 tests and then 1 project. And I'm kind of upset in general because none of my classes really had a lot of assignments. And you know, most people would be like, that's great. But for me, like, assignments were always very like, I did good, I put in my effort. So like, it wasn't bad if I did bad on the test. But here, no. Like, in this class, I would write out notes. Like, I'd take the notes online and then I'd write them out in my own words to make them easier to remember. I could study that stuff for hours, but as soon as I finished, I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Like, I could not remember anything that I was studying. I don't know why it was so hard. Just, the words made no sense to me. Like, nothing stuck in my head. Like, I can't tell you, like, really anything that I learned. I mean, there's a few things that I remember, but, like, I couldn't remember anything. So the first test comes along. I've studied. I'm like, okay, well, it's supposed to be easy. I get a 50. Yeah, on the first test. And I'm like, well, time to die. Like, it's still a pass, but that's terrible. Then second test comes along, 66. Not great, but better. Third test, final test. And none of the tests were like cumulative, by the way. Like the stuff from test 1 isn't on test 2. Like, you know that. So I take the final test, 50 again. So I don't even want to know what my final mark is. I don't think I've gotten it yet, but I know it's not pretty. It's a pass, but it's not pretty. And you know, that's not the best motivation. Like, I always did so well in school except for math. That was always my worst. But this, I was doing so bad, and I felt so stupid, and I still feel so stupid because that's supposed to be the easiest class, and I'm doing terrible. Like, what? Then we did this project where you were supposed to, like, go up and, like, observe things in the observatory, which I wish I did go up, but I was just too anxious to do it alone, so instead I just looked up a picture and sketched it, which I'll get into. But yeah, that astronomy class, while it was fun sometimes and I'd laugh, but nothing the guy said stuck. Like, nothing was helpful. Like, I never understood anything that was going on, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who was stupid and did bad, but like, to me, nothing stuck. I couldn't pay attention. Nothing stayed in my brain. Like, I didn't get anything that was happening. So, that wasn't the best confidence for, like, your first university semester. Like, I'm thinking, like, wow, I am doing terrible. Although some people we later talked to were like, no, that's actually like the hardest class. But then I look up reviews online and they're like, the easiest A+ I've ever gotten. Like, what do you mean? Also, it went super late, like 5:30 to 6:45, although usually he let us go early. But like, yeah, nothing he said stuck. I couldn't understand anything. I tried, I studied, I really, really tried, but I was so terrible at that class, so awful. And my grades were terrible. So I don't know, I hope I did good on the project. I don't even want to check. But yeah, we should be getting our final grades for the course soon, and it's probably going to be a D or a C, or like, it's not great, but at least it's over and I passed everything. At least I think so. Anyway, so my classes were on Monday and Wednesdays. I had astronomy. Originally that's sociology, but I dropped it. So Mondays and Wednesdays, astronomy, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays, it was psychology and English. So on our second day of classes, I woke up, get ready, and then I went to my first psychology class online. Now, the class wasn't supposed to be online, at least not as often as it was, which we'll get into. But anyway, I'm excited because, psychology is kind of what I'm doing, so like I want to be in the class on it, and I'm like, yes, this is my psychology class, this is what I'm here to do, let's go. So my psychology class was called Intro to Learning, because the first psychology class most people take is called Intro to Psych, and we wanted to get in it, but since I signed up for my classes last minute, it was full. So I'm actually taking that next semester, but I did Intro to Learning first. But basically, our professor, he was going through some like family things. So the original schedule that he set out for us was Tuesdays we go to class in person, and then Thursdays we do them on Zoom. But during the first day he had a family emergency, so we did it online until he had multiple issues for like months. So we ended up doing that class online for months. We only had about 4 or 5 classes in person. So yeah, for like the first month and a half, all those classes were online, which I didn't mind though. Like, he recorded every lesson. I just kind of like, sit in my chair and listen in my room. Like, it wasn't bad, but definitely not how it was supposed to be. And of course, when you're not going to classes in person, you can't really, meet friends or anything. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, so most of our classes for like the first month and a half were online. In fact, we had like one in person our second day of that class. But then after that, they were all online until like mid-October. But that class wasn't bad in general. Like, he was a funny guy. Like, I liked him, honestly, a lot. Like, he was really funny. He was good at teaching things. He recorded everything so we could like check back what he said. Like, it was good. Like, I really liked his class. Although the only things were 3 tests, a paper, and then discussion posts. Which those were pretty easy. You just go on there, write an opinion. I'd often write too much, but he'd react to my post and he'd be like, wow, thank you for your effort. So yeah, so he was a little crazy, but he was fun, and like I really did like him. He didn't like learn our names much or anything, but after like in online for months, when we finally went back in person, I like wrote him a letter and he like thanked me, not after, but like when I gave it to him, which was nice. But yeah, he was cool. Just sucked that we ended up doing it online for most of the semester. And then like there were days where he'd be like, okay, next class will be in person, I promise. I wake up early. And then he posts something like, hey, so I'm kind of stuck in traffic, so we're doing it online. But yeah, so it was kind of annoying, but like as a professor, he was good, and the course material was pretty good. I got like 80 on like every test, which isn't too bad. I haven't seen my final test score yet. I'm pretty sure it's done. I just don't want to look at it. And then I wrote this paper, which I genuinely thought was the worst thing I ever wrote.